Good evening. It's me. It's Triple B. Let's spill that tea. In our top story tonight, Brandon Sanderson, Brando Sando, has done it again. He has been left to his own devices, left alone, and he's decided to write another book, which is fantastic because I love his books, as do many of you. Brandon Sanderson, the author of the beloved Cosmere saga. Brandon Sanderson and fellow author and musician Peter O'Rulean are teaming up for the Stratowars fantasy trilogy. The first series installment will be called The Song of the Dead, and it deals with a musician who wakes up in an alternate reality after his death. Sounds pretty entertaining, if I may say so myself. The series follows Jack Solomon, a struggling musician who, after his death, wakes up in a new reality where music and light are considered magic and past eras play out underneath the streets of London. Songs of the Dead is the series' first book that Brandon Sanderson is co-writing with O'Rulean. Following that debut, which will be released in the summer of 2026, O'Rulean will finish the series on his own, and Brandon Sanderson will go on his way to write more books. The pair thought up the idea in the early 2000s, so this is a long-time passion project for them both. And Sanderson has been teasing this to the fans for years. In Brandon's own words, he said, "Songs of the Dead is a long-time passion project of mine that I'm eager to finally see emerge from the shadows of half-finished outlines and world-building documents into a fully fledged novel. Peter is the ideal steward of the series. I'm pleased to have found someone to give the story to, and I'm excited to see what he does with it in the coming years, as am I." O'Rulean said, "When Brandon and I began discussing a collaboration for the Stratowars, it made perfect sense. He had this amazing new idea involving music, and as a musician who's lived and breathed rock and metal culture, I could give that idea punch and authenticity. We had a blast building an epic story to tell in this new world, wrapping it around music and history, and setting the stage for a massive conflict between the present and the past. Our goal was definitely to turn this one up to 11. O'Rulean's the author of several novels as well, as you can see here. One of his most popular, The Vault of Heaven, the first book in a duology that I want to check out now to get a feel for his writing before summer at some point. So keep an eye out and get excited for From Brandon Sanderson and Peter O'Rulean, Stratowars. In other news, the first trailer was released for Marvel's Wolverine at the PlayStation State of Play event. The gameplay footage looks incredible. I'm very excited for this, as many are. Wolverine is one of my favorite characters, and the game looks like it's going to capture the ferociousness and gore-soaked fun that we wanted to see from a Wolverine game. So I'm excited to play this one, and I hope you are too. Check out the trailer if you have not yet. It'll be linked down below in the description. This game is a year away. We'll be releasing in fall of 2026 from Insomniac Games, the same people who made the Spider-Man games for PlayStation, which are some of my favorite. Has us wondering, us Marvel and PlayStation and comic book and superhero and fantasy and sci-fi fans wondering, will the Spider-Man and Wolverine games be in the same universe? We'll see. In movie and entertainment news, the first trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu was released to some mixed receptions. Trailer will be linked down below if you have not checked it out yet. Some people said, looks like Mandalorian and Grogu is aimed squarely at 5 to 12-year-olds, which is a $1 billion market. It's Gen Alpha Ewok Adventures. And others said, why is the first Star Wars film back in theaters Mandalorian and Grogu? Like Rise of the Skywalker was a total flop, but at least it looks like a movie. A third said, this could be fun, but it really shows how much Disney has cheapened their brand that the first Star Wars movie in 7 years looks like a more expensive episode of a TV show in every possible way. Another said, "My excitement has waned after seeing this. Loved all 3 seasons of Mandalorian, but this doesn't look like a proper movie." However, others were more optimistic. It's not all doom and gloom. This is what some who were more excited said. "Tears in my eyes watching this trailer, knowing that I'll be able to relive the feeling of a new theatrical Star Wars project in just a few months." After 3 successful seasons of The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal is returning as the Mandalorian in the film The Mandalorian and Grogu. It takes place after the events of 1983's Return of the Jedi, and it follows the Mandalorian and Grogu after their recruitment by the New Republic to stamp out the last remains of the evil empire. The film will be directed and written by Jon Favreau, who previously worked on the TV show. "I've loved telling these stories set in a rich world that George Lucas created," said Favreau. The prospect of bringing Mandalorian and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting. Mandalorian and Grogu will be in theaters in late spring, early summer 2026. In other exciting news that will be extremely exciting to my 8-year-old daughter and me is, wait for it, we're going up, up, up. That's right. K-pop Demon Hunters #2 is confirmed to be in the works with Netflix. Here is what we know about the sequel so far. The sequel is officially in production and moving forward. Sony and Netflix are in early discussions for the sequel. K-pop Demon Hunters was, of course, the Netflix's most watched English language film of all time, with more than 236 million views. The soundtrack achieved unprecedented success, with 4 songs on the Billboard Top 10 simultaneously. The original K-pop idol protagonists, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, will all return to face new supernatural threats, and the sequel promises even bigger battles, louder music, and deadlier demons. What we do not know, and here's what's speculated, is the release date. No release date has been mentioned yet. It could be it could be a couple years to a few years away. Who knows? It's unclear if there will be new characters in it or any other returning characters besides the main 3 cast. And nobody knows anything about the plot yet. If you have not watched K-pop Demon Hunters, I highly recommend it. Fantastic music, heartwarming story, great message, and if you have kids, they're going to love it. And you're going to love it too. And it's okay to admit it, because I do. This is what it sounds like. Let's take a quick break and take a look at 3 fantastic cover reveals that were broken and revealed on the Bearded Book Beast channel this week. Fantastic. In comics news, we love comics here at the Bearded Book Beast and at Beast Tea Weekly. And there is one coming out that came out this week that we are very excited about here. It is called Skinbreaker. You can see the image here. The artwork is done by David Finch, who did a fantastic job on a lot of Batman and Avengers comics. And it is written by Robert Kirkman, the creator of Walking Dead and Invincible. This is a fantasy comic book series that just sounds like a blast. You can see the picture there. Let me tell you what it's about. For fans of Invincible, the Invincible universe, Battle Beast comes to your new favorite series. The dream team of Robert Kirkman and superstar artist David Finch present a visionary action epic unlike anything you've ever seen. Enor has led his tribe for many seasons. but his time as chieftain is coming to an end. He wields the mighty Skinbreaker, but at his age he can barely lift it. Will Enor's reluctant heir, Anuk, take over before their world falls to ruin? As a bloody power struggle begins, an even bigger threat lurks in the darkness beyond their village. Skinbreaker tells the story of a people on the verge of collapse and their fight for survival as the many threats they face close in for the kill. I will be getting this very soon. There's a comic book shop nearby me, a local one I've not been to yet. Look forward to some coverage of that. I'm going to take you along with me and check out the comic book shop. Grab that, read it, talk about it. That'll be coming soon, so look forward to that. But check this out. It'll be linked down below in the description. Staying in comic book news, Cyberpunk 2027, Project Red, and Dark Horse Comics have revealed that there is a new Cyberpunk 2077 comic book series starting up, and it is called Chrome. It was confirmed that Chrome is on the way with the first issue set to release in January 2026. The 4-issue series is being produced by the creative team led by Tommaso Benato and Doug Wagner, with the series set to provide a horrifying twist on the usual narrative formula. The comics are being described as the first slasher story set in Night City that really leans on classic horror elements, rather than people just being killed for a quick source of eddies. Chrome is the 13th limited comic series to hit shelves, based in Night City and Cyberpunk 2077 world. And so far they've all been canon, so this one is apparently the same. Here is the blurb for it. Some friends go for a fun photo shoot at a landfill, where among heaps of rubbish, scrap, and metal, they'll find a shot to die for. Rumor has it the place is haunted, and they're about to find out that in Night City, there are things far more frightening than ghosts. Ooh, that sounds pretty good to me. I've always wanted to read the Cyberpunk 2077 comics. I have not yet, but I look forward to doing so. But this sounds fantastic. Again, 4-issue series, slasher vibes, perfect for spooky season. Unfortunately, it comes out January 2026, January 16th to be exact, for issue 1. Look forward to that. Next up, let's talk about some books that are coming out last week and this week. Normally we'll just look forward, but since this is the first Beastie Weekly in a while, I got you covered for last week as well. So here's a few things that came out last week. A couple of special editions, new hardcover releases of books that have already been out. First up, one that people are excited about, is The Inevitable Ruin by Matt Dinniman. Number 7 in Dungeon Crawler Carl is getting the new hardcover treatment. As you can see here, it's got the beautiful bright colors as usual, looking cool. Excited for that one. All these books will be linked down below in the description. Then we have How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps from Andrew Rowe, a special edition coming out with sprayed edges. The Lit RPG bestseller is re-releasing in a stunning new deluxe hardcover edition, now with a new afterword. Speaking of Matt Dinniman, this is what he had to say about Andrew Rowe's book. How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps is an endlessly inventive and an entertaining love letter to all us underdogs who spent countless hours with a game controller in hand, daydreaming about how we would save the realm. Now for the books that released last week, new books. So last week, one of the biggest books being talked about right now that I'm excited to check out myself is a chunky boy, coming in at over 1,000 pages, and that is the debut for Sin Lin Yu, Alchemised. You can see the cover here, stunning. If you love dark fantasy, Alchemised is definitely dark. The war has ended and the bad guys won. All that's left for Helena is prison and torture. The enemy fears that she's not just a simple alchemist, but part of the Resistance's comeback. So they send in their top necromancer to search Helena's mind. A dangerous relationship forms between captor and captive, but don't hold out too much hope on happily ever after, because in the world of Alchemised, hope is long gone. Sounds fabulous. I do want to check that one out. Next up, we've got another pretty cool looking cover, Spit Back the Bones by Tegan Olivia King. For fans of Midnight Mass comes a haunting new horror-mance. Horror-mance. I love a little romance and horror. Something dreadful is festering in the old Thomas Bog. For years it's done what it has been taught to do. It swallows. But it's done following orders. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Again, all these will be linked down below in the description. Next up, Mona Awad, who struck gold with her debut book, Bunny, is back with a sequel to Bunny called We Love You, Bunny. The highly anticipated follow-up to the viral sensation, Bunny, a brilliantly written, laugh-out-loud, funny, dark, and hilarious novel set in the Bunnyverse, a world that Margaret Atwood declared so genius. We Love You, Bunny is both a prequel and a sequel to Bunny, and an unabashedly wild and totally complete standalone novel. Open your hearts, Bunny, to another dazzlingly original and darkly hilarious romp in the Bunnyverse from the queen of the fever dream, Mona Awad. I do want to check out Bunny. I've heard that it's pretty interesting. And finally, from last week, The Shattering Peace, Old Man's War, book number 7 from John Scalzi, a series that I want to check out. After a decade, he returns to this series, so that's pretty exciting stuff as well. Now, coming out this week, first up we've got Children of the Gods, Age of Fire, Book 1 by S.A. Klopfenstein. I have an arc of this book and started reading it, and it is so good. I am having a great time with it. At the age of a war-torn world ruled by the Attican Empire and their fearsome dragon mounts, the fate of nations falls upon a few individual destinies. A shaman, a huntress, a soldier, and a rebel spy. Worlds will collide, fire will reign, all must choose a side. So begins the Age of Fire. A dragon fantasy epic for fans of Ryan Cahill, John Gwynne, and Philip C. Quintrell. Pretty good company there, if you ask me, S.A. And we're in talks for S.A. to come on the channel soon too, so look forward to that. Another one I'm very excited about, from author Philip Fracassi, who wrote The Boys in the Valley, comes his newest book, just in time for spooky season, The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre. Brimming with dark humor, violence, and mystery, The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre is a blood-soaked slasher sure to keep readers guessing until the last page. Rose DuBois is not your average final girl. She's in her late 70s, living out her golden years at the Autumn Springs Retirement Home. When one of her friends dies alone in her apartment, she isn't too concerned. Accidents happen, especially at their age. Then another one drops dead, and another. With bodies stacking up, Rose can't help but wonder, are these accidents? Old age? Or something far more sinister? Together with her best friend Miller, Rose begins to investigate. The further she digs, the more convinced she becomes. There's a killer on the loose at Autumn Springs, and if she isn't careful, Rose may be their next victim. That sounds fantastic. Definitely checking that one out. Next up, we have Daedalus is Dead from Seamus Sullivan, a delirious and gripping story of fatherhood and masculinity told through the reimagined Greek myth of Daedalus, Icarus, King Minos, and Ariadne, and the Minotaur. Sounds pretty good. You've got to love those retellings. Another long-awaited return to a series, Falling in a Sea of Stars, from Kristen Britton, return to Green Rider, book number 8. That's a series I've never checked out, but always was interested about. Let me know if you've read The Green Rider and if you're excited for this return to the series. Pretty awesome cover. Then we've got some novellas. One that already came out this month. We've got The Summer War from Naomi Novik. I've not read anything by Naomi Novik, but I've always wanted to. This may be a great place for me to start. In this poignant, heartfelt novella from the author of Spinning Silver, a young witch who has inadvertently cursed her brother to live a life without love must find a way to undo her spell. That sounds pretty good. Then we have What Stalks the Deep from T. Kingfisher Sworn Soldier number 3. Pumped about this one. I have books 1 and 2 that I'm excited to read for spooky season, just in time to also read book number 3. And then another novella I'm very excited about that came out that just came out recently that I cannot wait to check out is To Clutch a Razor from Veronica Roth. I read the first book in this novella series, Win Among Crows. Really cool. Monster hunting, some cool magic systems. They have bone swords they use to kill the monsters that they literally take out of their body. It's pretty cool stuff. I cannot wait to check this one out, the sequel. And finally, just a fun one I saw that I had to throw in here from author Tin Levin. It's called Dead Red and Razor. Look at that unhinged cover. This is what it's about. It's a crime novella. I love novellas. This one is awesome. Coming out next week. Haunted by the voice of her dead lover, the assassin Dead Red Virgilio is out for vengeance against her former colleague, Razor Bill McClintock, and she's driving into the heart of the Nevada desert to get it. But others who are just as dangerous as Red, the Welshman, the Nun, Max Maximilian, Song for Lemmy, and Amanda Boom, are converging upon the same location with agendas of their own. Will Red achieve her aim and silence the ghostly voice inside her head? Oh, I'm grabbing that one. Looks fantastic. Thank you, Beasties, for joining me for this episode of Beastie Weekly. I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to many more segments being added, including Brightness Booked, where I take a look at all the cheerful, happy, positive things going on in the book community and share that segment with you. That'll be starting soon. For now, thank you again for joining me. This has been Beastie Weekly. Good night, and until I see you in the next one. Devour your TBRs. Be brave. Be beautiful to one another. And be beastly. Good night. Shadow Wars. Fantasy. In other news, the first trailer for the Wolverine Marvel. In other news, the first trailer for that the bearded book breathe. But don't hold out too much hope on a happily ever after, because in the world of Alchemised. But don't hold out hope too much is coming out. Oh, that's next week. Shoot. Rose may be the next victim. Rose may be the next victim.